Hello, Froggy here, and today I'll be showing you how to get into the Inverted Spire from Patrol. It's something that I have been messing around with for a long time, but now with the Quantum Sparrow, it's fairly easy to do. Not quite as easy as taking those hoops, so if you don't want to go into Inverted Spire, there's this handy-dandy teleporter to escape. Although I believe the other end shrunk in the wash and they never quite got around to fixing it. Anyways, we could sparrow fly up top, but I like to climb when possible. Makes it a bit more approachable. I've done many iterations of this route. I feel this one's probably the nicest. The upper area of the cistern has become a pretty common hangout place for people doing sparrow shenanigans and whatnot. It's pretty common to end up running into other people up here. Anyways, oh, there's one now. Let's get over to the anchor. So one of the ways to get in solo is to drop in from here and then use any sort of speedy tech to race the door. With all the various skating techniques that we've got now, it's quite doable. But we're going to be using the Quantum Sparrow. Just going to zoom into the load here and get off just before we hit it. That was a bit too late, so we're gonna have to try that again here. I'd recommend getting off on your right. If you get off on the left, you'll go straight through the wall and possibly die. And with the new spawn system, that could be a pain. Luckily, we spawn on this side of the blue barrier by default. And we just have to climb our way back up. But that's not the interesting part here. I'm just gonna skip ahead. And now we'll need to call in the aid of a second person. Here, Nev is using the death cam to give me a good view. Without an observer, we wouldn't be able to move this sparrow at all. Since this is a Quantum Sparrow, we don't have to worry about the map.
Let's try
this.
this.
We just go straight across here. Of course, you can take the
that's what I was planning to do.
along the ground, but
I was just not used to the third person driving yet.
Sparrow that can go through any of those invisible barriers sort of things. I just gotta get it lined up with
right.
the blue.
Just gotta get it against the shield.
And we'll be able to use that to dismount straight through it. Just gotta get the sparrow to teleport. We might need the observer to be alive again to have that happen. There we go. Sadly, we can't go the above way because we are corporeal here and sadly bound to the rules of map ceilings. But luckily, with the Quantum Sparrow, we are not bound to collisions while dismounting, so we can go straight through that shield wall. And now, with very few exceptions, we can go through the strike normally. There are a couple of interesting things to see that I'll point out along the way. The first is coming up here on the right. I've shown this in previous videos, but there is a large kind of empty area below here. I'll give you a link to my previous video on it here. Because of the new spawn system, I don't want to hang around, so I have to block where I just landed to go back up top and die in the air. I'm still holding out hope that they will fix that at some point, at least once they become aware that it is an issue. And we're back up above. Now the first place here that we diverge from the normal route is right up here. We don't have the normal boosters, but Luckily, we can jump right across. You might need to be a little high to avoid death barriers, I'm not entirely sure. But the second issue that you run into, and the only remaining one, is that the shield to the left is still blocking the way forwards. But we're titans with a sword, and that doesn't bother us too much. Just gotta cross this small gap over to where the snipers would be perched, and you can just continue normally. I feel like you can't do that in the normal strike, but luckily from Patrol, it is not a problem at all. So here is where I like to make a second detour, and I think I have a shorter something covering this as well. But these spinning drill parts aren't actually super deadly if you're close to where they branch off. In fact, you can just get pushed along by them. They're not entirely undeadly though, so your ride might not be terribly long. And with the new spawn system, you will probably spawn right back in the path of them. And leaving can be a little bit of a pain. But it is doable. Might have to get a little bit lucky. And gotta dodge all the spinning blades on the way back. There is an interesting thing you can do in the boss arena too. It turns out there is a hole in the floor. You don't get to see too much of this section of the strike because generally someone has rushed ahead and you're already hitting joining allies. I wasn't able to find any holes up there, but I know there are a few holes in the floor down here. And on top of that, the radiolaria fluid isn't actually deadly, so you can just run around on the floor without any worries at all. Let's see if I can find the hole in the ground. Remember there's one kind of close to where you drop in, but I never remember where that one is. Looks kind of promising over here. This be it? Kind of looks like it. And nope. Maybe the corner here. Well, I walked around the entire perimeter and the actual hole was just a little bit to the right of where I was. So that's a thing. And there we go. But before we try to fly out that way, we might as well get full sword ammo. I figure I'll keep this in when I use it, just in case this is a new thing for you. But set your sword ammo to min while alive and max while dead, and you'll regain the percentage ammo difference. Let's see if we can... Oh, nice, we got some splashy effects mid-air there. I could stasis climb up the entire side, but let's save a little time with some sword flying height gain. I'm just gonna check in this back corner here just in case there's a hole. I don't see any. So let's go ahead and sword fly back upwards. Just gotta spot where the hole in the ground is so we can avoid touching the ground at all. I think it's yeah, here we go. Just gotta go back here. height gain with sword flying is a little bit of a art. You want to be as conservative as possible with your jump, and just use the initial boost to its fullest. The boost that you get from catapult lift is significantly higher than what you would generally get to use in sword flying, because there is a cap to your height gain set when you jump.
If you're below that, you can climb back up.
And these rocks should do. Let's see if we can climb without using stasis climbing from here. There are some Vex blocks above, so we can make it to them. We should be pretty good.
Just check into that solid.
Probably get up that with a sword swing or two. There are probably some jumps that would be better with, say, high lift, but switching off of catapult is such a pain, and then I inevitably fail to sword fly. It is a lot of fun climbing up these Vex sort of blocks. There's almost always some way to do it, although it may take a bit of trial and error to find a route. I have fond memories of trying to climb the orrery without using supers or anything. Something back around here. Yeah! Use a little cheaty grenade. Probably is some way to do that, but I don't mind using a grenade here and there. So, fun fact, those cool Vex spinny things you see back there are present in the unloaded version of this area. I had no idea that was the case before coming out this way. Once we make it up, we'll be able to hit the load zone and then explore back there. It is rather impressive looking, so I would highly recommend checking it out. Getting pretty close to the top. If I don't fall down here, that is. There we go. We just got another couple Vex blocks to go. Yeah, I think I'll take the lazy approach to get started here. And that looks barely standable. Yep. Other little ledges. Well, that block was easy. Hopefully this one will be as well. Surely it's not going to be as easy as climbing up that center thing. That's inside the map, sadly. What do we got going on the left? It's probably a bit too narrow. And oh, that is an unfriendly little bit of land there. Let's see if we can just go back. Don't want to lose all that progress. Yeah, this side is rubbish. Don't have many footholds going up there at all. Yeah, let's go back to the right. It's kind of relaxing just slowly making our way up here. Little bit of puzzle solving. It's one of the things that I really like about out-of-map exploration. There isn't really a set way to go anywhere, so you're just kind of figuring it all out as you go along. Maybe there'll be some nice footholds over here. Yeah. This should do. And it's probably a little bit of something to the right there. Oh, well that's convenient. I'm just gonna use a nade. Up there should work. And there we go. This looks pretty easy. Got a nice wide platform here and can just jump around to the right and yeah, plenty of little footholds here. And I think this will put us at the top. Well, basically at the top. And there we go. Now we're at the top. Before we head off in search of the load zone, let's just take a moment to appreciate the view up here. It is fairly nice. We've got all those kind of drill encasings going on and a nice cloud layer. And almost looks like a barcode behind me. That's kind of weird. Huh. Yeah, I wonder if we can fly out to one of these drill things. I think we'll probably be good with the amount of ammo we've got right now. Especially with our super about to come up. Yeah, maybe we can get to this one on the right. We definitely don't have the height for it, but should be close enough to see if it's solid. Well, the crater thing isn't. And not looking so good for the drill either. Oh well. At least we get a nice side view of what we just climbed up. And I think now we're just gonna fall to the true edge. And let's get back to trying to find that load zone. Took a brief break to regen some ammo and didn't have luck on the right side where I was looking. Want to be careful not to accidentally load in the map because then we'd have to do that climb again. Seems like there's some floor above me. Maybe around... Yeah, there we go. Nice. Is that a... Wait, is that a chest? Probably not. Yeah, some sort of box-like thing. That effect's kind of neat. And can I only see those structures through this hope? Nope, nope. There's some weird occlusion thing. I wonder if any of this is solid. Oh, oh. That answers that. I bounced off of it. I have to give that another go. These little, oh, thought about land there. These little like vex lighting things are pretty neat. Bit of solid ground there. See if I can land on one this time. Of course, I choose the only part of one that is not solid. Maybe I can still make it over to... Nope, burn too much of my jump. Alright, third time's the charm. Yeah, the unloaded version of this room is pretty empty. There's some invisible ground there. There we go. Nice and solid. Wonder if all of them are. Seems like it. And that one's pretty neat looking. I'm sure some parts of this one won't be solid, but... Actually, a lot of it is. I will be surprised if this little thing is. Oh. What do you know? That is quite a nice view. I have to remember this area. More of those little screw head looking things. I could stare at this for a while. I did stare at it for a while, and I don't think you needed to see the 5 minutes of that. Well, yeah, these things just kind of slowly move up and down, which is kind of weird looking. One last thing to check here. How about this guy? Yep. Well, I think that's just about it. I would recommend checking this area out. It is rather nice looking. And I'll see you guys next time.